What is going on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm joined by Geekdom for some Dragon Ball Super talk! Gosh, I feel like I have to emphasize every time I say Dragon Ball Super just because it's just kind of a natural thing. Doesn't matter. Today, Geekdom and I are going to be talking about Black, or Goku Black, or as a lot of people like to say before, Black Goten. No, I'm just kidding, it's not Black Goten. We're going to talk about Black and his possible intentions and who he is as a character. Now remember, everything that we say in this video is pure speculation. As of today, June 26, 2016, when we're recording this video, I'm sure we'll get the answer of who he is in roughly 2 to 3 weeks. But as of right now, this is just kind of our ideas based on what we saw in the most recent episodes of Dragon Ball Super. So if you have any theories yourself as to who Black is, what his intentions are, feel free to share the discussion below or in the comment section below and discuss amongst your fellow Dragon Ball fans. And without further ado, Geekdom and myself will tell you what we think he is and what he's doing and in which direction the series is going. So without further ado, Geekdom, are you ready for this?
I guess. I mean, I don't really know what he is yet, but there's a lot of ideas out there, so there you go.
Right, so I'm just going to go ahead and just toss it out. Address the elephant in the room. I think he is a god of destruction.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Goten. No.
Goten. I should have said that. Actually, it would have been funny. It's funny because this reminds me of a time when I think it was both of us. We made a video about Monaka saying that I thought he was a god of destruction too, and it's like we're doing this again. Now, but there's actually a lot more evidence leading towards Black being actually a god of destruction of that timeline, and we're going over everything that happened in episode 49, as well as a couple things mentioned in the previous episodes as well. So if you have not watched those yet, we highly recommend you watch those before you jump in it. But without further ado, let's go down the list that I didn't write down. Hopefully, I'll remember everything. So the first thing as to why I think Black is the god of destruction is the first thing he said when he appeared in Future Trunks' timeline is he's going to destroy the Earthlings for justice. Now, this is a weird one because you would think that he's a bad guy, but he's doing it for quote-unquote justice. And it made me realize he has been going from planet to planet destroying it. Now, the initial reason why I didn't think that he was the god of destruction was due to the fact that Beerus himself goes from planet to planet left and right and just blows it up really, really fast. But Black has spent the last year on Earth. So why the lag? Well, the reason why is because every god themselves is different. Beerus, who is more on the lazy side, I mean, he is a cat. If you don't know about cats, they're pretty lazy. Would rather just get the job done and then go back to eating, whereas Black is more sadistic and evil, and he enjoys his job kind of well. So he probably does a good job. So from what we have seen, he has gone back and forth and destroyed a lot of planets. Geekdom, do you agree that that's actually a good point towards him being a god of destruction? I'm actually
going to play devil's advocate on this one.
Okay, go ahead.
And which is why I'm glad I'm here. One thing about a great villain is that, you mentioned him saying justice. The beautiful thing about great storytelling, and so far these last 3 episodes have been great storytelling, in my opinion, is that great villains think they're right. So when a villain says justice, you can't look at it from like a Superman point of view.
100% right.
Exactly. He thinks it's justice. As far as him being a god of destruction, the reason why I don't think he's a god of destruction is that I think that he takes too much sadistic pleasure in being evil. He's definitely an evil character. He is evil Goku, as much as that pains me to say, because it sounds so fan-fiction-y, but he is. Beerus and Champa come off like a couple of guys who are very childlike, very egotistical, very lazy, like a real cat.
Right.
And I think that, when you are tasked with the position of being a god of destruction, according to what Whis tells us and what we see in the series, it's just a job. This guy Black seems to enjoy destroying and pillaging civilizations. Now, the question then becomes, why does he have a hard-on for Trunks? Why is he wanting to kill Trunks so bad? Why is he referring to...
I'm glad he said that.
Yeah, and why is he...
That takes me to my next point.
Well...
So,
all right.
But I'll let you finish first.
No, I was just going to say, why does he hate the Saiyans so much? I actually initially thought that maybe he was one of the races, possibly, that the Saiyans had destroyed years and years and years ago. Kind of like Baby, but a different race. I don't think he's a Sufurian or a Tuffle, as they call him in the dub. I don't think he is one of those, but... I thought that, but when they said that he goes from place to place destroying things, which actually I think we did a previous video where I said he was kind of like a virus or like a locust or something like that. Like the aliens from Independence Day. Part 2 is in theaters now. And, I feel like he might be something like that. I don't think he's a god of destruction because of those reasons. That's my counter argument to that. Is that there's a difference. So yeah.
So what I was going to counter to that with is my second point.
Yeah.
In episode 49, they spend a great deal of the episode talking about how it is against the law. It's a crime to travel. Even gods are not allowed to do it. And when
even though Whis did it,
even though Whis, I mean, Whis technically does barely. He just kind of like does a do-over thing, but he doesn't actually time travel.
That's true.
But they made it sound like that you can time travel, and gods apparently have this thing called a time ring, which Goku or Black is actually wearing. So the second point I wanted to make was when it was revealed that that Trunks had a time machine, Beerus kind of wanted to, punish Earth for it. So the second reason why I believe that Black could indeed be a god destruction or even an ex-god destruction is due to the fact that because Trunks time travel, this is him basically come to Earth now and punishing them. Now the question is why does it take him this long? Why didn't he just arrive after he did it the first time? And to answer that question is, unlike Beerus, who likes to get the job done and get back to his food, Black is more sadistic. He loves his job. So for all we know, the reason why it took Black so long to get to Earth and, have Trunks be his turn is due to the fact that he was probably destroying other planets in the meantime. Just basically, Earth became his list after Earth broke the law, and this is his way of repaying them. So that's my second point. What do you think about that?
Well, that's a different point because now you're saying he's a former god of destruction. That makes a little bit more sense.
Well, no. I said he's a god of destruction or possibly an ex-god, but we'll talk about the ex-god part later, yes.
Yeah. I was just harping on that. I mean, that makes sense, but I think there's more to it than that. Like, I don't think that... Because, okay, if he wants to cash it out on Trunks, it's fine. But then when Trunks says he's been going around doing this for a while, destroying other civilizations, it just seems like this guy has a much deeper vendetta than what's being told to us. Yeah. I think there's more that hasn't been told yet about Black, which I like. I like waiting. Everybody has their theories. But there's and then also the way he refers to Trunks as very Saiyans as in a very negative way. He's got to have some kind of hatred for Saiyans, or at least he thinks of them as being inferior. So, and then there's the question: why is it like Goku? There are so many unanswered questions. Oh yeah, but it's good. I think we are going to get an answer. I think we are, a good answer. I'm hoping, but yeah, I don't know what to say to it. Really, we need more information.
More information, exactly. Now, my last 2 points are more on the theoretic side. There's just no way to prove this at all until we see more. The first point I want to make was, obviously, Black has to be the power of a god. If he shows up and he's like the power of a Super Saiyan 2.5 or Super Saiyan 3, obviously the fight won't last long. So for someone to be the power of a god, I can only see them being a god. I mean, Frieza obviously had his abilities. He trained himself, but that's Frieza. He's like a unique character to himself.
Or like we said in the previous video we did, he might be a demonic being. Like, maybe a god tier. Right? But he might be a demonic being. Now, what about this one? I don't know if you brought this one up yet, or if you're going to, but the time ring, okay? I still think that he either stole that time ring.
Possible.
That's what I'm thinking. He might, because if he's at that tier, maybe if there is a future Beerus, we don't know that yet, or a future whatever, maybe a Kaioshin, maybe that green guy, Zamasu, maybe he took the ring. I don't think that ring belongs to him. I think that he stole that ring.
Extremely possible, yes. So it's either one or two things. Either one, he is a god of destruction, or two, he is somebody else on a god tier who's on an extermination mission for XYZ. What is XYZ? We don't know. But I'm glad he said something in that sentence, and that thing was about future Beerus. Now, I still don't think there is a future Beerus. I think there is a different future god, just because I feel like as gods, and this is the one flaw about the whole god destruction theory of Black, I feel as gods, there can only be really one, across time, that is. From what Whis made it sound like, gods themselves, even though it's frowned upon, they can travel time, but I feel like as gods, there should only be one. So, for example, there is one Beerus, and he exists in the main timeline. There is one, Kaioshin, and he exists in the main timeline. Now, it is mentioned in episode 49.
Well, I was going to say that also is contradicted by the fact that, and again, this is all retconning, when we first saw King Kai-Osama, we only thought there was one. And then as the series progressed, we found there was 3 other Kai-Osamas, and then we saw the Grand Kai. Then the next arc, we see Kaioshin, that's a tier above him. Then we find out that Majin Buu took out the 4 other Kais. So, you're saying there's one god, however, Dragon Ball tends to constantly...
Well, no, I mean like per timeline, excuse me.
Well, yeah, but there was 5 Kais in one timeline. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying that...
Well, I feel like when it comes down to Kais, they all exist to serve a certain like part of the universe or part of the time or whatever.
Yeah.
And it is mentioned that the Kaioshin did help him, stop the Majin Buu threat. And I think that Kaioshin is Zamasu.
You think that's Zamasu, not the future version? You think it's not the future version of this Kaioshin?
Correct, because I just think it'd be weird. Like, it would be kind of overpowered. Like, imagine there is 2 Beeruses. How that would play out. Oh, you're here? So, the other thing I wanted to toss out there is a lot of people have been asking, well, if Majin Buu threat happened in the future timeline, what about Beerus? Well, because of that, because it's different, I think instead of Beerus coming to Earth, it could also be that it was Black to show up to Earth. There's another, crazy theory I want to toss out there. The problem with all this is there's so many ideas as to what Black is and what he's trying to do, and until we watch, we won't know, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, another thing, too, is it's possible that Beerus just never woke up, or maybe,
also possible.
Or maybe if there is a future Beerus, maybe this guy Black put some spell on him or some shit to keep him asleep, or maybe, again, we're just tossing bullshit out there, like you said, there is no future Beerus, and only the Beerus from the regular timeline can traverse the timelines,
right.
And he just never thought about going to that future timeline because he's been asleep for so long, and now that he's awake, he's been hanging out with Goku, Vegeta, and his brother.
Yes.
So, I mean, that makes sense. Maybe Beerus never showed up in the future because he's in the timeline.
He wouldn't have the vision in the future in the first place because, remember, Goku didn't survive in the future, therefore he could have never had the vision. Whereas in the past, it's explained after 49. We spent a good couple minutes talking about the butterfly effect, how one small change can lead to the destruction of a planet later, which is kind of ironic because that's what's happening.
We should do a separate video about this, I think. Honestly.
We probably should. Honestly, we should. There's going to be a part 2. There's definitely going to be part 2, especially once we watch this weekend's episode and hopefully next week and after that. But mostly this video serves as a purpose to kind of see what the community thinks as to what Black is and to get our ideas and thoughts out there to see what the community thinks. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is your chance now to jump into the comment section below and let us know your ideas and thoughts, anything you observed in the episodes, as to what you think Black is. Is he a god? Is he the next god? Is he just some guy who's a god tier who stole a god's ring?
Yeah.
Or
I still think he's a demonic entity or something malicious, like a Makaio Shin or something like that, who is very smart and did steal a god's ring. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, his aura is just absolutely black, and what we saw in the past, auras have been kind of like tied to how evil someone is. And if that's true, if that theory is true with the auras, then he's evil if his aura is black.
It's black and purple, but then again, Beerus also had a purple one too. So, and that's what you said in the past about tying them together. So there you go.
I don't know. Well, I think this kind of wraps up our thoughts so far. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your chance to basically speak up. So do that in the comment section below. And of course, if you're hyped for Dragon Ball Super in this incredible arc so far, I'm hyped. Leave a like right below if you are as well. So, Geekdom, is there anything else you want to toss out there?
The only thing else I want to toss out there, and I'll be brief, because I'm sure you're going to have somebody in the comment section bring this up, but a lot of Dragon Ball fans aren't even aware of this, so I will bring it up. Toriyama made a interview a few years ago talking about the origin of the Kais, and he talked about a Shinjin tree, where all of the gods are born from this tree called the Shinjin tree. It basically is a tree that creates gods. So what's supposed to happen, the way Toriyama explained it, is that whenever a Kai dies, the tree's fruit falls and makes another Kai. So that could also lead to who Zamasu is. I'm just throwing that out there because I don't want people to comment saying, oh, well, you're talking about one god, well, there's supposed to be more than one god. But we've never seen other Kais except for the ones that we've seen in the series. We've only seen, the Kaioshin that helped out, the purple guy, and then we see the other ones, but we never see Zamasu. He's a brand new entity, so maybe he was from the fruit of that tree. It's Dragon Ball lore that I will eventually cover that in a video, but the reason why I'm not doing it is because Toriyama keeps adding to the god hierarchy. So I want to make sure, right? I want to make sure we have all the information before I go and do that. But just throwing that out there for the people who might throw that out there for you.
And one last thing I wanted to say before I end this video, because I forgot to talk about this, is one possible flaw with the whole God of Destruction theory that I came up with is the fact that he lacks an attendant. And in the past couple years, everybody had one. Omni King has 2. Beerus and Champa had one. Everybody, even Kaioshin had one. But here's Black, who doesn't have one. So, again...
Oh, we don't know he has one yet. Maybe he does have one and we haven't seen it yet. But you're right. It seems like he doesn't. And honestly, I just really think he's some kind of evil... Dude, the fact that he was like a shadow thing with like a face and a mouth, I think he's some kind of evil motherfucker. I don't think... Excuse my language. I don't think he's a god of destruction. But we'll see. We'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I guess we'll see what the community thinks, and we'll discuss amongst ourselves. Until next time, guys.